thinking of writing a new book, I just thought of beefing it up and making it, somebody's gone missing, they've double-crossed some gangsters in Glasgow, the gangsters think they've come to Edinburgh, so Glasgow gangsters descend on Edinburgh looking for this person and whatever it is they have, and it could be anything, it's a MacGuffin. It's that kind of thing, it could be anything.
We have no idea.
It could be anything. But I just liked that idea, because I thought if Glasgow gangsters come to Edinburgh, probably they're followed soon after by Glasgow cops. So you've got Glasgow gangsters intruding on the Edinburgh gangsters, and you've got Glasgow cops treading on the toes of the Edinburgh cops. I mean, how much potential is there for conflict? And you want conflict.
Well, otherwise you have no book.
Exactly. But no, I mean, Rebus has hit 65, and so he's had to go yet again. So he's now a consulting detective, which is lovely because he's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the pipe.
He doesn't. No, but he plays on it quite a lot in the book. He has a lot of fun with the idea of, does he need to have a Watson character? Does he need a housekeeper? Does he need to start smoking opium? What does he need to become a consulting detective?
Beautiful.
Does he need a dog?
Yeah.
Does he need a dog?
Well,
as soon as I got the title, Even Dogs in the Wild, I thought I should have a dog in this book.
And
that was in the notes, the original notes. And then I went and wrote the first draft, went and looked at the notes and thought, I forgot to put the dog in. Do I really need a dog? And I thought, yeah, a dog would be quite fun, so I put the dog in the second draft. First thing I do when it's time to write a new book is to get out my big folder of ideas. And it's basically bits of paper, things torn out of newspapers and magazines, things scribbled on beer mats, character names, anecdotes, potential storylines, subplots, you name it. And I'd got a lot of material about a real story about this undercover cop who had wormed his way into anarchist groups and environmental groups and stuff. And he'd had children with, there were one or two of these guys, they'd had relationships, women had been pregnant and thinking they were a kind of activist, and they weren't an activist, they were a cop reporting back. And I mean, I did think about deep cover and what it does to you and how do you manage to maintain that cover. And so that's why this happens in the book. That's why it's in the book. It was very much based on that real story. And oftentimes it's a true story that kickstarts a plot a lot of the time.
I enjoyed the event immensely. Ian was just delightful, funny, interesting. It was wonderful.
It was good to get the opportunity to ask a question, but also it was nice to have a good answer, but also in front of an audience meant that a lot of people could contribute. So a lot of people ask questions that you wouldn't necessarily think of yourself, but you actually would want to know about the book.
Think about setting a book in Fife or writing about Fife rather than Edinburgh. Not really. I mean, I decided, the thing about Rebus is, he was always going to be a Fifer. He was always going to have come from the same place as me. But that was great fun to make because he's an outsider, so you can still look at Edinburgh, although he's an insider, he can look at it like an outsider. Although he's lived half his life here, he still doesn't quite understand the place. He's still trying to make sense of it as a mechanism. What makes Edinburgh the city that it is, what makes it unique, what makes it tick. And, so Edinburgh was always my focus. I was trying to make sense of Edinburgh myself, using Rebus to do it for me, using Rebus as my guide.
I got the chance to ask Ian what he thought about having a street named after him back home in Cardenden, and he seemed to quite like it and explored quite a lot of the history for him in his background.
How does it feel, a street named after you? And what a lovely location, because they've got the den at the back, in Cardenden next to the railway station. Carded End, as we used to call it. It was weird. I remember when they got, it was a new build estate of kind of private houses, and they said, they wrote to me and said, we'd like to name it after you. And I said, well, I don't like that idea, can you name it after Rebus instead? And they said, oh no, we want to be, and I said, well, just call it Rankin Court. I said, no, it's got to be Ian Rankin Court. I mean, Anyway, I went along to it and it was fine, but somebody keeps nicking the signs and selling them on eBay. They put them up on eBay and the contractors, the building company, buy them back because that's cheaper than making them.